New chess course explaining the book The Woodpecker Method. This book, guys, is going to be the best for you. Why? I noticed that most of you guys don't want to waste a lot of time on chess books, reading chess books, learning theories, and so on. So the best way for you guys to pump up your rating is through tactics. And you don't have to take my word for that. You can hear what Grandmaster Hikaru says. A lot of other GMs say the same thing. If you're a beginner or intermediate player, the best way to gain more elo is through tactics. If you don't have time to learn opening theory and middle game theory and then end game theory, the best way for you guys to reach the 2200 and 2300 and so on elo is through tactics, endless puzzles. And for that, I chose the best tactics book in the world. It's called The Woodpecker Method. It includes more than 1,100 tactics that you need. And after this book, you will be able to spot tactics in a second. When you're in a blitz game or under pressure in a rapid game, you will find that move where you sacrifice the rook or the queen and so on, and just win the game. And we have 3 levels in this book. We have the easy exercises, the intermediate exercises, and the advanced exercises. And we're going to go through all of them. So subscribe, put that like, and comment, some support, because this book costs, I think, $30. And even if you buy it, you will not find this margin of comfort where you're just watching and you don't have to go through the lines and so on. And you don't have to put the position on your own board. I'll put it for you. The only thing I want you guys to do is to work with me. When I tell you to stop the video and think, do it. Otherwise, there's no help I can provide you. You have to be immersed in the video and to stop the videos and think when necessary. Okay, so after you've done the like, subscribe and everything, let's just start. This is the very first tactics. Okay, it's black to move here. What would you play? Okay, I hope you stopped the video. The move here for black is based on 2 things. First of all, this bishop. Look, this bishop is controlling all of these squares, especially this square. The knight is controlling this square, and we have an attack possible by this rook. So the idea is sacrifice the rook. The king cannot go here, so he must go here, and after that, checkmate. So here we sacrifice the rook. Very basic tactics to win the game. It's checkmate. You just have to see that the bishop is controlling this g1 file, this g1 square, and you have to know that sacrificing a rook is a possibility because we have another rook on a8. So this is the next tactics, guys. It's white to move. Stop the video. What would you play? Let's try to analyze the position. Okay, we have a very balanced position material-wise. So we both have the same number of pieces. And you can see that white is trying to put some pressure on the d file with the queen and the rook. The problem is, it's eyeing this bishop, and this bishop is defended by this pawn. And after that bishop, it's x-raying this other bishop. This other bishop is only defended by the queen. So if we find a way to attack this bishop, we will win a piece because we are attacking with 2 pieces and it's defended only by the queen. Now, how can I move the bishop away from here so that I can take the other one? Well, how about taking this horse, and after the exchange, I push this pawn. See, now black cannot do anything but either take this pawn or move back and lose the other bishop. So at least take a pawn and then lose the bishop. So the best move for black here is to take that pawn and then you win a piece, right? So now you're up 2 points or a piece for a pawn, and you're controlling the 7th rank with a rook, and you're gonna win the game. What's the most important idea? Is that I see that the queen and the rook are x-raying this file. This bishop is only defended once, and I have to get rid of this bishop. How? Exchange. Put pressure on that piece now. If it goes back, of course, I still can take. Right? You have to find the move, which is exchanging the bishop for the knight. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, guys, this is the third position. It's black to move. What would you play? Well, first of all, you have to consider a couple of things. First, these two queens are looking at each other. So if your first idea is to take this rook, it doesn't work. Because if you take, this is losing for you now. Maybe I can check the king. You can think of it this way. In each tactics, you should first check the safety of your king. If the king is safe, then you think about check and then capture and then attack. Check and capture, then attack. King safety, then check, capture, and attack. So here, we can check the king. We can do this, for example. But it doesn't work. Right? There's nothing black can do now. So, a better move here would be this check. I think this is Mikhail Tal. No, this is Steinitz versus Dubois. So the idea here is that I'm checking your king, and if the rook takes, I'll take your queen. You cannot take my queen now because you're in check. You cannot take the queen because you're in check. So if you take with the rook, there's no longer a piece defending this queen, so I'll take your queen for a rook. You cannot take with this king, of course, because there's another rook. Okay, what if the king goes back? Then there is checkmate for black. See what happens here? You cannot take this rook. We already said that. You lose the queen. You cannot give this check. It doesn't give you anything. You don't get anything from that. So let me find a way to keep this queen hanging, to take away this rook from the defense of this queen. Check. Sacrifice the rook. If takes, take the queen. And you're winning the game, right? So the idea is a deflection tactic. Deflect this rook from defending the queen. And if you don't take, you're going to lose. Even if you go here, it's still a checkmate. So whenever you see the queens looking at each other, there's probably a tactic to take away the defender that's defending the queen. And that way you can win the queen, or at least win some material. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one is an excellent one. Now here, it's white to play. Stop the video and think about king safety, check, capture, attack. What's the move for white? Well, I hope you stop the video. Here, the move is not easy, okay? You can already see the idea that this bishop is controlling this whole diagonal, and especially this f7 square. Also, the knight could come here, and it can become a fork or something threatening, right? Okay. The problem is this knight is pinned by this bishop to the queen. So if you move the knight, you lose the queen. How can I move the knight and still not lose the queen? It's if I move the knight with check. But I don't have that. Okay, how can I move the knight with check? Brilliant. Bishop to f7. Now, if you take with the king, I move the knight with check. Or sorry, not this move. The other check, wait. Exactly, this check. You know why not that check? Because the king will escape and nothing will happen, and you will not gain material. And your queen is hanging. So you give this check, that way you're attacking this bishop and this king. When the king goes back, you take with the knight, and even if he takes, you win a piece in the end. right? So this is an opening tactics, guys. And this happens in real life. And now you can spot it. You sacrifice the bishop first so that you can get the check with the knight. If the king takes, you go check, you're attacking this bishop, and you're checking this king. Once the king moves back, you take, takes, and you take, and you win the game. Probably win the game. You're up a piece, okay? But what if king doesn't take? If the king doesn't take here, let's say king moves here, then you just go back. You want a pawn, you ruined his pawn structure, and the king cannot castle. You have 2.2 advantage. The eval bar is saying 2.2 advantage for white, right? So whenever you see this pattern, you have to spot it. And it will happen again, this book. Okay. I hope that's clear enough. Okay, we have another tactic now. This is the fifth one, I think. Stop the video. It's white to play. What would we play in this position? Okay, in this position, first of all, is our king safe? Yes. Our king is castled. It's all fine. But there's an idea you have to spot immediately. Look at this position. If I can get my bishop here, I will pin the queen and the king, right? And I will win his queen. The only problem is there is a knight disturbing me. It's covering this square, this very important a5 square. So I cannot bring the bishop and pin. So what's the idea? Get rid of the knight, right? We don't have a check, but we can capture. How can we capture the knight? Well, there's two possibilities. There's this bishop and there's this rook. Let's try the first one, the bishop. It's not a good move. You know why? Because now when he takes back the bishop, he's attacking your queen. So even if you bring your bishop here, he's still attacking your queen. So it's not the best way, because now he can take, right? And now you're losing. Because after he takes this and you're up 5 points, right? Material-wise. So if you take with this bishop, he will take and attack your queen. And now if we bring the bishop, it doesn't work. Because he will take and they will take. And here you're not obliged to take the bishop, right? You can do something else. You can, for example, wait. Yeah, you're not obliged to bring this bishop here. But the idea, you still have some... Yeah, you can still... I think you can go here. This is the best move, I think. But the idea is gone. You still have a small advantage, but you ruined the opportunity. You know why? Because you should have taken with the rook. Now when he takes with the bishop, your queen is not attacked. And now you bring the other bishop, pin the rook to the king, and you win the game. Because now he cannot take your queen, right? If he takes, you take with check. Then he takes, then you take. And you're up 2 points material-wise, and you're winning the game, and he's not going to castle, and it's over for him. Right? So the first instinct is you have to see this diagonal. I have to bring my bishop here. This is a necessity. How? I have to capture. To capture this knight because it's covering this square. How can I capture that knight? With a bishop? No, because if he takes, simple calculation. Calculate this in your mind. What happens when you take with the bishop without me showing it? It doesn't work, right? So take with the rook. Now, even if he takes, he's not eyeing your queen. So you go here. Here, you take with check, so you win the tempo, and then here. And you can even, go here and here. Win everything. You don't have to eat this bishop, right? Then he will eat this, but you're 6 points up now, material-wise. So this is a very important pattern too, guys. Let's go to the next one. So this is, I think, the 6th tactic. And here it's white to play. No, I think it's black to play. So let me flip the board. Yeah, it's black to play, so let me flip the board. Stop the video. Think about a move here for black. Okay, we have a very clear way of thinking. King safety, my king safety, then check, capture, attack. Usually in tactics, your king is safe. In most of the tactics. Because you're asked to do something offensive, right? So, first of all, my king is safe here. He can give a check, but it's a pointless check here. And it's also a pointless check here because the rook is defending, right? So check, can I check him now? I don't have any check. I can take here, but it doesn't work because he will take. And even if I bring a rook, it doesn't really take because there's this pawn. Capture, can I capture something? I can capture this pawn, but he will take back. Can I capture this bishop? No, because this queen is defending it. Deflection. Deflection tactic. What if I can get the queen away from here and from here, and then it cannot defend this bishop, and then I can take the bishop with the rook? Well, how to do that? Pawn to f3. The idea is you cannot take with a pawn, of course, because it's pinned. If you take with the queen, I will take your bishop. And if you move away with the queen, you will lose the bishop. If you go here, I'll checkmate you. For example, if you go here still defending this bishop, I'll checkmate you. It's checkmate in one. So that's not possible. So, yeah. So going here is not possible because it's checkmate. The only possible move is going here. That's the best possible move. And the idea is, if I take, you cannot take. Because if you take, I'll checkmate you. Right? We deflected the queen. So the only good move for the queen is to take this bishop. Black here is crashing because you'll take this bishop. He takes a pawn, you take a bishop, you won the game, right? So pushing this pawn looks like a non-logical move at first hand. Because you don't really know the position that much, and pushing a lonely pawn like that can be taken, it looks stupid, but there's a bishop hanging. Deflection tactics, right? Now I want you to solve this one more time. Push. If the queen goes like here, I just take. It cannot take because there's checkmate. If the queen takes, you simply take the bishop and the game continues. And you win the game probably in the end. So the next puzzle, guys, is black to move here. Stop the video. What would you play? Okay, if you did not find it, think more about the knight, the black knights. Can you use the knight to do something? Can you capture and then do something? The idea is this very simple fork. You give away the queen, you take this bishop. He takes back, right? Then you fork the king and the queen. King moves away, and you win a piece. Knight takes c4, right? So you can see that this is a fork of the king and the bishop, but if you sacrifice the queen, this other queen has to take, and after it takes, boom, boom, it's a fork. King moves away, you take this queen. So this is another pattern, sacrificing to get a fork. Sacrificing a piece to get a fork of the king and something else. This pattern will also repeat many times in this book. So after takes, this queen has to take because it's on the same diagonal with the king. It has to take, right? After it takes, you fork, right? And you win the game. Even if the queen didn't take, you just take it in the next move and you win the game, right? Because you're up a piece. Let's say he played, I don't know what would be a brilliant move here. Or a good move, I mean. Let's say he goes here. You just take, right? Or yeah, you just take and then you go back, right? You go back with the knight and you're up a piece. You're up 4 points of material. So if he doesn't take, what's the best move if he doesn't take? Now the best move here is taking. There's no other possibility. You could put the rook here, but still, you know, still winning. Completely winning, 4 points. So now you can see the whole tactic, right? Let's move on to the next one. This is the 7th tactic, I think, or 8th one. Okay, remember deflection tactics. Remember sacrificing a piece to get a fork. Stop the video. You're white here. What would you play? Well, first of all, you have to see a very clear idea. The idea is that the black king is defending 2 pieces at the same time. And this king is close to this rook. The black king must be deflected from the defense of one of the pieces. Easy. Take the fucking knight. Take the knight. Now the king has to take. After the king takes, you take the rook and you're up a piece. That's the idea. Now this is not the best way for black to play this position. Because the best way, the very best way, where he's still losing, for him, is that after you take, he gives a check because you're gonna lose. He's gonna lose this rook anyway. And then you take, and then he takes. Right? You're still winning here. So you take. If he takes there, you take the rook, and you're up 2 points. But the best response for him is to give the check first. Win that pawn. Because this rook is already lost, right? Take. And then he takes. And the eval bar says white is completely winning. It's 4.7 points on the eval bar, so it's completely winning for white here. I'm looking whether there's a better alternative. The book doesn't show another alternative for black. So yeah, the best way is just here, here. That's the best move. That's the best move, and then yeah, that's it. The idea again is deflection of the defending piece from defending another piece. Take the knight. The king must take. After the king takes, you take the rook. If he doesn't take this rook, you can just like continue the game and you're winning a piece. Then you can gobble this one or bring the other rook. Maybe start checking him and so on, but he has to take this, probably. Give here, check, and he takes. And you're completely winning. Okay, this is a great tactics guy. I really enjoyed this one. I didn't find it first, so I had to check the solution from the book. If you found this one, you really are a very good chess player. It's white to move. Stop the video. Think about my king safety. Check, capture, attack. Is my king safe? Can I check? Can I capture a piece? Can I attack? Right? So, first thing to see here is this queen is very close to the king. It's trying to checkmate him. We have this strong, very strong bishop on this diagonal. This b1 to h7 diagonal. We also have this bishop, right? So the idea is, how can I put a lot of pressure on this king? Okay, let me see. This pawn is defending these squares, right? And this bishop is taking these squares. So if only I can attack this dark square. How can I do that? Look at this bishop. Check. And it's checkmate unless you take this queen. What happens then? Boom, checkmate. Take the knight. We get rid of this nasty pawn, and then you give the checkmate with the two bishops. You suffocate the king. See the idea? You take. You cannot do this because there's bishop, right? So the game is over. And once he takes, you opened up the way for your bishop to checkmate the king to take over this square that we talked about. This is a very, very beautiful tactic. This is very hard to spot. I did not spot it at the first time. Then I saw the solution. So if you did spot it, congrats, you're better than me. So, but you still have to watch this because this is not me. This is not my book. Forgot the name of the author, but I will tell it to you next time. Okay, let's go ahead and see the next position. Now we talked about spaced repetition, right? Stop the video. What would you play in this position? You're white. What would you play? I thought we already cleared this out. I told you that it's about active recall. It's about training your subconscious mind. So we've already seen something very similar to this position, right? What would you play as white here? Sacrifice the bishop. If king takes, then you can take this with check. The king moves back. And now you can take with the queen. There's no horse, so you don't have to take with the horse. You can take with the queen, bring more pieces to the offense, and win your game, right? But I think most of you guys spotted it quickly this time. Not like the first time. And that really is the point of the whole book. It's the woodpecker. It's repeating the same thing many times until it becomes a pattern in your head, in your subconscious mind. In each and every game, you're gonna find this move. If it happens, you're spotting it. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. So let's say the king doesn't take. What happens if the king moves here? You just move back with the bishop here, or even here. You're up on the eval bar. You're saying it's 2.0 for white, so you're completely crushing. You won a pawn. You destroyed his structure, his pawn structure. He's not going to castle any longer. So you already caused huge damage to the black position. So if he doesn't take the bishop, don't go ahead and take this pawn like a fool, because it doesn't come with check, and he will take your queen, and you lose the game, right? I don't expect you to do this stupid thing, but just to warn you guys. Okay, we're slowly advancing in our tactics for today. We're already building patterns, reaching some very good goals, so on. And we're gonna finish at least, I think, 15 puzzles today. I'm gonna finish at least 15, and I want you to repeat them, guys. Please don't be just like watching and eating and not doing anything. You can eat, you can lay down on your bed, but at least make the brain work, okay? Help me out here. Don't be like an inactive, lazy learner, okay? So here it's white to move. You already see that white is crushing, he's attacking, he has what we call the initiative. If you watch the book or my explanation of the book, How to Reassess Your Chess, that we're still working on, here white has the initiative and it's white to play. What would you do here? Well, first of all, you can see something. My king is safe, the white king is safe. Check, capture, attack. Do you have a check? Yes, I have this check. Do you have any other check? Yes, I have this check. Does this check sacrificing the rook make sense? No, because you don't have any support to it. If you take and then he takes, you just give a check and then there's nothing. There's also this check, but it's also pointless. He will just take with the queen, right? You don't have anything. So this is the only possible check. So let's calculate it, right? You're calculating. Check. The king has two squares. Let's say he goes here, and they both have the same fate, the same result, right? Now comes the brilliant move. Rook to f8, check. The only solution to that is just taking, right? But then it's checkmate. Same thing if king goes to h8. Exactly the same thing. Here it's checkmate unless you take with the queen. You take with the queen, and then there's two ways to checkmate. I can take the queen, it's checkmate, or I can take this and it's checkmate. Right? So the queen being on this rank is not a good idea for us. It doesn't help us. Let's deflect it from that rank to the last rank when it cannot defend this checkmate. Right? So how do you start thinking about solving the tactics? King safety or king safety, then check, capture, and attack. The check here was fruitful because the king has only two options, and that makes the calculation easy for us. He goes back. I cannot take this and checkmate him because it's defended by this queen. How can I distract this queen? Oh, give this check. The king cannot take because it's defended by this queen, so here and here. I think this is easy enough to spot. Keep this pattern in your head. Let's move on. Next one. Here it's black to play. Let me flip the board for you guys. Right? It's black to move here. Stop the video. What would you play? Well, first of all, you can see, guys, is black is, I can say, slightly better here. Why? Because it's attacking this pawn. It's trying to attack it. It's not hanging now. But black's pieces have a purpose. These two are controlling the file. This one is supporting this push of a pawn. This bishop is eyeing a great diagonal, and this horse is now mediocre, but it can become better. These two knights are only doing a defensive jobs. They're not doing too much in the position. They're on the first and second rank, and here there's no direct threat in the first and second rank, so they're not doing much, right? Because it's not that I'm pushing my pawns upon them, and if they have to go to the first and second rank, it's better for them to be somewhere on the third rank, I think. right? If they're defended in the right way, it's better for them to be up the board. Also, this rook is blocked by its own horse. This rook is blocked by this pawn, and it's not really a good position for white. He has more space, a little bit more space here, but now this horse can jump everywhere as a result of white pushing these pawns. So if we assess the position, already black is in a better position, but here there's a tactic. The tactic is knights do great in attacking scramped pieces, suffocated pieces in a small space. Let me attack this queen, right? Rook c3, attacking the queen. Now the queen cannot go here, it cannot go here, it cannot go here because it will be taken by this. Yes, he will take, but it's not a great idea. And the queen is the only piece defending this bishop, right? So this bishop is eyeing this diagonal. The queen has nowhere to go. It goes here, it gets eaten, here it gets eaten, here, 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 here. Right? The best thing is to eat the horse. But then I can take the rook, because that bishop was on the way of the other bishop. So if takes, I take the rook, and I'm winning an exchange and I'm winning the game. But you might ask, wait. After c3, knight to c3, what can white do? What if white goes, for example, let's say, here? You can just take it. If it stays here, you can also take it with check. What now if it goes to any other square? Then you can take this bishop for free. If it goes here, you first take, and then you can exchange. After this, maybe you go here, right? And after he takes, you take, and you win the game. So the idea is, me moving the knight, I know the queen cannot go here, cannot go here. If it goes anywhere else, it will lose this bishop. And if you take the knight, trying to get rid of the source of the trouble, I will win the rook at least. And I'm winning the game. Right? So this queen is defending this bishop. How can I deflect the queen? By jumping here. Yeah, but the bishop can take. Then I can take this rook. And if the queen successfully gets deflected, let's say it goes here, I take first the bishop. Why don't I take this? But then the knight takes and it's controlling this square, so it's defending now. You don't win any material, right? You get the fork, but you don't really win as much as you should have won. This can be a draw. If white defends well, this can be a draw. You're only up 2 points, right? So it's better after the great move c3. It's not easy to spot. It's okay if you didn't spot it. It's not easy to spot. You take, I take, and I win. Gradually at least I win. Then I can force the exchange of queens, and at least it's an advantage for black. Let's say it's a big advantage for black. Okay, so let's see puzzle number 14 and the easy exercises. So here it's black to move. Let me flip the board for you guys. It's black to move. Stop the video. What would you play? Well, here, as you can see, first of all, we have two great knights. because they're defending each other. And they're on the 5th and 6th rank. And we talked a lot in the book How to Reassess Your Chess about the importance of knights on the 5th, 6th, and 7th square. They become octopus, right? But here this knight can be taken by this pawn, so I have to find a solution. I have also a very interesting idea of maybe this queen attacking the king here and checkmating him, but there is this nasty queen. This nasty queen that is defending the e1 square. So I cannot bring this with checkmate now. What if I deflect the queen? How can I deflect the queen? By forcing it to be deflected. What do you mean by forcing it to be deflected? The opponent is not stupid. He knows what you want. So if you find a forced way for his queen to be deflected, it will be deflected. Boom, brilliant move. Rook takes d3, right? Why is it brilliant? Because now if queen takes, it's checkmate, right? What if queen doesn't take? If the queen doesn't take, the next move will be this one, and it's checkmate. So what's the best move here for white? Best move is here, right? Because it's attacking this rook. So you still win a lot of material. After check, he sacrifices, then you take, then he takes, then you can do this, or you can bring the other rook, or you can do this also. And after this, you have this, and you have this, you have, sorry. Yeah, both are good, but you can do this, then the king keeps running and you win the game, right? You win this rook, or maybe you give a check here, or like a lot of possibilities. It's a miss, but you win the game. You get what I mean. Take this, this. These are the very best lines, right? And it ends with checkmate, right? The move that is very hard to find is d3. Rook takes d3. The deflection move. It's always the deflection move. But don't be sacrifices your pieces everywhere, every time, right? You have to be smart about it. So after he takes, you can give the checkmate. And even if he doesn't take and plays the best move on the engine, you still give this nasty checkmate unless he takes, and you win the game. Even if he takes first, it's still no problem, right? You take back, he takes, I think. Yeah, or goes there, same thing, but you win the game. In the end, you win the game. So if you're not able to catch d3, it's no problem. We're gonna do many puzzles, and you're probably gonna see something similar to this multiple times, and that's the idea of the book. That's how you're gonna be a great tactician, guys. Okay? So we move on to the last puzzle for today. Here it's black again to move. Let me flip the board for you guys. Stop the video. What would you play? I think this is easy enough to spot. Is my king safe? Check, capture, attack. Is my king safe? Yes. Do I have a check? Why is my king safe? Because he can only give a check and then I will run here and it's over for him. There's no other checks. There's nothing. He can take this, but I can maybe take back and then move here. There are a lot of possibilities, or take with the queen. There's no way he can really threaten my king now. So check, capture, attack. Right? Do I have a check? Yes. Which check? This one. Brilliant move. Why? After he takes, checkmate, supported by this bishop. But you might say, wait. He's not obliged to take. He can simply lose a rook and continue the game. Yes, but after that he goes here, so you give the check, so he stops you with this pawn. So then you take. If he does this, then you can simply take, or you can give this check. And after he goes here, you bring the rook to end the matter here, right? If he goes here, it's checkmate. And if he goes here, it's also checkmate, right? So this idea about threatening the queen on the last rank, it's very popular. You already have done it probably on chess.com puzzles. You just have to see the combination of the rook and the bishop together, right? You have to see that. It might be that this is also good, a good move, not brilliant because it's not as strong, but I think this might be good too. It's a miss, but you're still winning, I think, or not? He takes, you take, he goes here. No, you're not winning. Actually, it's a big miss. No, don't do that. It's a mistake. Take this. Yeah. And then it's checkmate. And if he runs away, if he runs away, if he sees the whole sequence, do this, check to force the king, and it's checkmate here, right? So the whole idea of sacrificing is clear enough. The deflection tactics, we've done a ton of them. The opening trick, if you remember, with the bishop, the bishop taking the pawn, the king taking, then the check with the horse to gain that bishop. I think all of that is clear enough. I think you guys have had a great lecture for today. If you appreciate all of this effort, I don't want money. Just do the like, the subscribe, the comment, and then YouTube will pay me, hopefully. Yeah, I'm doing this completely for free for you guys, so I would really appreciate some support. Have a great day, great rest of the day, enjoy life, and I'll see you guys very, very soon on the second lecture, and we'll also continuing the other books. Ciao.